So hello everyone, welcome to another All Blaze No Glory special. I'm joined by a special guest, it's Actual Blaze, whose insight into American football will be limited to say the best, though he was very excited watching the tennis last night, and big shout out to Emma Raducanu on her victory. So I didn't manage to get to 3 divisions, unfortunately, with guests. I appreciate Kenny was going to step in, but scheduling issues on my part are the reason that you're getting a kind of crap video from me rather than getting Kenny and some more in-depth insight. So the 3 divisions I didn't get to were the NFC North, the AFC South, and the NFC South. So look first at the NFC South. Obviously, before Thursday night, the big favourites of the NFC South were Tampa. I still think they're the favourites. I don't think that changes, but I think that people are maybe less high on them than they were. It's one game though, and Dallas have a pretty potent offence. A couple of turnovers though, and I was quite annoyed because I have Mike Evans in my fantasy team and Brady didn't throw to him. He threw everyone else, didn't throw to him. So I think probably Tampa will still win that division. I think they'll come good. And I think Dallas might actually be the team to beat. It might revise my previous prediction of Washington, with Dallas winning the NFC East. But I think what's going to be intriguing this weekend in the NFC South is going to see how Carolina get on. They've got a lot of weapons, Anderson, Moore, etc. If Darnold can utilise those and not be like Darnold of the Jets, then I think there's every chance that the Carolina Panthers can maybe make a little bit of a run, at least finish over 500, which now is an either or. You can't finish just 500 anymore. So yeah, interesting division. Saints could be really interesting. Kind of feel sorry for them not being able to play in their home stadium. Feel sorry for the people of New Orleans, and I hope they're all good and everyone's safe there. And the Atlanta Falcons should be interesting. I have Kyle Pitts in my fantasy team, so we'll see how he goes. I'm starting him over Dallas Goedert today, so. But yeah, it's a weird one, the NFC South, in the sense that it seems to be like Tampa and everyone else. So maybe a team can roll Tampa. I think if anyone's going to do it, it's maybe Atlanta, just with the veteran presence there. I don't think the Saints are going to have much this year. I do not think the Carolina Panthers are going to be particularly great. Albeit I think their offense could be exciting at times, but I think it will flash. I don't think it will be consistent. And I think probably the Falcons, with some of their veteran presence of Matt Ryan and stuff, might have a chance to roll Brady a couple of times, but I can't see the Buccaneers with the same Super Bowl roster just losing out. So that's the NFC South. A lot quicker when there's no one else to bounce ideas off of, right? The AFC South, for goodness, I thought I said the NFC least recently, but the AFC South, my goodness. I think it's the Titans to lose. I think the Colts are normally quite good. They've got good coaching staff, but all the uncertainty about the quarterback situation, Carson Wentz, there's the vaccine stuff, but who's going to get into that? It's just a minefield. I'll just, piss off half of my followers, potentially, or whatever, by starting to go into that. But his injury status is, ropey at best, and they've not got a lot underneath them. The Texans, who knows? I think the Texans will be dreadful this year. I think they'll actually be the point where if the Texans were the only option to watch football, that you might turn it off, because I think they're going to be god awful to watch. They've got some decent players, but they're in such a mess. I'm not sure about the coaching staff. I think Cully's been brought in as a human sacrifice because of the situation with Deshaun Watson. They can't cut him because of his salary. No one should be trading for him at this stage. I think they have to let the legal process finish. I'm really kind of shocked, and I think their league's done them a bit dirty by not allowing him to be put on the commissioner exempt list, so they don't have to sort of have him as part of the 53-man roster. Jacksonville, I think, will be okay with Trevor Lawrence. I think they might be a little bit more exciting. They'll at least double their win total because they've got 2 games against the Texans this year, so that could be pretty good. And then you've got I've mentioned the Colts already. I think the Titans are the team to beat. I know everyone thinks they're one-dimensional and rely on Henry. It's worked for them so far. I don't see the reason why it suddenly just stops working. Everyone knows what they're going to do, and they still do it. But they've also got Julio Jones now, as well as Brown and Tannehill. So who knows how they can be stopped, especially in that division. They've got to come out of that division. I think they'll sweep that division. It's a bold statement to say that. I can't see anyone in the division beating them, even the Colts. I know that Greg Rosenthal locked up the Titans, and I think that's fair. Against Washington, I think that's bold in the sense that Washington have a very good defence, but I think the Titans is a fair shout to roll pretty well this season. I think they'll make the playoffs. I don't think they'll do much damage. I don't think they're going to compete with the likes of the Bills, Browns, and the Ravens, and obviously the Kansas City Chiefs. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's really a Titans division to lose. If the Titans don't win the division, they've lost it. They've not, it's not been won by someone else necessarily. And then lastly, the NFC North. Well, it's a bit of a weird division now. Obviously, Rodgers was whole storylines around Rodgers were an absolute waste of time this season. Thanks for that. I read a lot of, as we call it now, puff pieces on Rodgers and possible destinations and all that stuff in relation to Rodgers. Talks of him going to the 49ers. Which as a Rams fan was not met with a great deal of excitement on my part. So yeah, I mean, I think Packers are going to win that division. I think the Vikings will be exciting this year. If Kirk Cousins does Kirk Cousins things, they've got a pretty good roster, decent defence as well, and they're always well coached. The Bears will be interesting. I think the Bears are reasonably well coached, but I'm not sure about this decision to be so adamant that you're starting Andy Dalton over Justin Fields. I mean, Justin Fields has his issues, unless you're worried about the line, which isn't great, and you're not wanting him to get killed, but then arguably the line will start as healthy as it will be at the start of the season. And then, if Dalton gets killed, you're going to end up having to put Fields in a worse situation potentially. And it does worry me because I've watched Justin Fields a couple of times. I've watched the second season of QB1, and I think Justin Fields is going to have a good NFL career, provided he gets the right things around him. I think he's going to be a victim of circumstance if he doesn't have a good NFL career. I think he's got all the tools to do it. He's got the drive to do it by the looks of things. You got good vibes from him in QB1 with his attitude to the game. So yeah, I hope that Chicago don't destroy Justin Fields. I think the Vikings QB situation is kind of interesting, with obviously them drafting a QB, but I don't think that Kirk Cousins has got much to worry about if they've drafted a QB in the third round. I think it's just more picking a better backup for him. But we'll see Cousins how he gets on behind these plexiglass screens and Again, another vaccine denier. That's his choice, but I mean, I think sometimes he tries to have charisma and he's just a bit of a mug. When he says things like, "I'm going to be behind a plexiglass screen" or something, who does he think he is? Michael Cole, back in WrestleMania 30, he's idiot. So we'll see how that goes. But I think it wasn't WrestleMania 30, it was WrestleMania like 26 or 7, sorry. But the Vikings, I think, will be quite good. However, I don't see the Packers losing their hold on the division. I think Aaron Rodgers has now got even more to prove to everybody after farting about all off season, saying he would want to traded and stuff and pretending he was going to be the host of Jeopardy and playing golf and all the other stuff he was doing. So we'll see how he gets on. But I think it's Rodgers' division. I mean, the NFC North is kind of his playground, and I think that's it. I think from the NFC North, it's the Packers all the way. The Vikings could sneak in as a second playoff team. I don't think the Bears get to the playoffs, and I don't think the Detroit Lions get above 6 wins. In fact, I think that's been generous to the Lions. I don't think they're going to be particularly great this year. They have no receiving core. They have Jared Goff, who the Rams basically gave up their future to get rid of because they had got themselves into a corner because of one Super Bowl run. I don't think they'll do that again, and I think it speaks volumes to the coaches are the ones who see them every day, and the coach was prepared to give up a lot to get rid of him, to get somebody else in the door. And I think Stafford's a great quarterback, but I don't think he's like the level of Lamar Jackson or something, or obviously Patrick Mahomes, where you would give up the world to get him. I think they gave up the world to get rid of Goff, an upgrade. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe Stafford will be the ultimate, with a new environment and better coaching around them in a better situation. But yeah, anyway, I'm diversing into Rams and to the NFC West there. But yeah, so tonight probably watch a bit of Red Zone. I think that Browns Chiefs game is going to be awesome. I could watch that on Sky Sports outright, which I might do. But I think Red Zone's probably the way to go because I'm still going to see the best bits of that game. Anyway, so I hope you all enjoyed the first weekend of football. As I say, I think the game to watch is that Browns Chiefs game, that rematch from last year, from the NFC divisional round. I have put an accumulator on, and I have the Browns going over the Chiefs, which is very punchy. I have to concede, but I think the Browns are going to shock the Chiefs today, and I think that's my big call on this sort of round the games. So enjoy it tonight. I know this has not been as good as the other ones because I've not had a guest to bounce things off or who's maybe plugged into each of these divisions. But I thought we'd do. I didn't want to leave them all out and people just think I didn't care about them. It was just generally scheduling issues and difficulties with getting hold of people who said they'd maybe do it and couldn't. But hopefully next year we'll be able to get all of them done, and I'll plan a bit further ahead. And also I would hope that next year we'll be in a position to see the next few months we'll have a couple of updates and sort of reviews, maybe sort of quarterly, which is obviously difficult with 18 games, so maybe after week 5 and then after week 10 or something, and then a couple of 4 weekly ones after that, with Kenny and any other guests that we maybe get in. If there's anything else you want covered on this, any other weird niche sports, then you can get in touch with me. I'm quite happy to talk about any sport really, even stuff like cricket, which I'm not massively into, but I appreciate, you know, the skill level it takes to play cricket and stuff. Lastly, I watched a bit of college ball last night. Iowa State against Iowa Hawkeyes, and I have to say the Hawkeyes look pretty good this year, and it was quite good to watch actually. A bit of college football, because there's obviously it's a different style of football to the NFL, but it's still just as commercialised as the NFL. So that's been good to watch. Unfortunately, the Grey Cup is something that I can't really keep tabs on over here. I think the season's finished in Canada anyway, or not started or whatever, so I'll try and get into that next year. CFL football's obviously got a lot of different rules and stuff, so that's good. Just lastly, a little note to Edinburgh fans, if any Edinburgh fans are watching this, Edinburgh Rugby fans that is. I went to the new stadium. I like the new stadium. I like the atmosphere of a smaller stadium, for, you know, rather than getting drowned out. You know, 6,000 fans in that stadium, and the place was really quite loud. Murrayfield, 6,000 fans feels like, you know, somebody shouting into a void. Good stadium. Game didn't go perhaps the way we'd want it to. It was our first ever game in the new stadium in Edinburgh, and it was all right though. I think there was a lot of youngsters and a lot of things there. It was just that final pass or whatever. Magnus Bradbury absolutely butchering a 2-on-1. Didn't help matters. But he made a good turnover shortly after that, so you know you can forgive him. And Charlie Savala, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's quite a young fly half that Edinburgh have. He has such good tools. He's come from a rugby league background. His ability to find gaps in the line is incredible. The difficulty I have with him is he seems that he believes it's like a rule that he must offload, and I think maybe one of them went to hand out of about 10, which really put Edinburgh under the cosh. Now it's pre-season, it's time to try things. I'm just hoping that Mike Blair, the new coach, gets a word to him to calm down a little bit. So anyway, that's a little bit diversity for you. Enjoy tonight. I'm going to try and watch a bit of Red Zone. I'm in the middle of house moving and all that sort of stuff as well, so maybe not get the full Red Zone experience that I want with, you know, beers and a couple of snacks, but when I do, I'll be sitting down. It's the only time that I pick Budweiser over any other beer, because I do like watching. It feels like the American experience with a Budweiser. I'll be sitting down and watching a bit of Red Zone tonight, whilst doing other stuff around the house. So everyone, have a great night. Thank you for watching these if you've watched them. It's really appreciated. I do this for me more than, you know, than for recognition or whatever, but it is nice to have people like comment and say that, you know, they enjoyed something, or even tell me I'm an idiot. It is fine. So yeah, thanks for everyone. Cheers.